Alright guys, I am going to try something new here. I'm going to do an Instagram live while I'm recording a video for YouTube later. I just picked up a big box of animals from Chimera. I have one more shipment coming in tomorrow, but it's probably the last two things I'm going to end up buying this year. So it's a lot of animals, nothing extremely crazy, but it's a lot of very powerful animals for my collection. Give me one sec. Alright, so this is going to be a little complicated because I'm trying to record Instagram Live here. I have my camera for my YouTube here, and then I have my laptop over here to monitor what's going on the Instagram stream. It's probably about like a 10-15 second delay from what I'm recording to what I'm seeing on the computer. So if you have any questions or want to say anything, let me know, and I'll see it pop up on the computer, and I'll try to answer you guys as I can. But anyways, so we got 10 awesome animals in here that I'm very excited about. They work into all of my projects extremely well. All females, because I do not need males at this point. We're looking at basically a bunch of stuff that's in the Hypo Clown Pied project. And with the way the market is right now, obviously you can get some pretty decent prices for really anything you're going to pick up. So this is, I think I've literally purchased so many animals and spent so much money with Chimera this year. I think I'm probably an investor at this point. I probably have some stock options in the company. They like to put their black. I had green grass one time and black grass. I guess I should save this for Easter baskets. It's kind of messy. It makes a different look. I don't love it. I prefer just putting the paper in there. But let's start unboxing these girls and see what we got here. And if you guys haven't seen Flynn Reptiles, I didn't even know these guys before this happened. So, you know, shout out to Flynn Reptiles. Unfortunately, they had a big tragedy over the weekend. They were vending at a show and they came home and there was a big fire that basically destroyed their whole entire collection, which is absolutely terrible. So what I'm doing is today only, because today's really the last day we can guarantee shipping. Anything you buy from me, if you donate to Flynn Reptiles through their GoFundMe, I'm going to deduct that amount off of your purchase up to $250. So if you donate $100 to Flynn Reptiles in their GoFundMe, I will take that $100 off of the price that you are going to pay me for anything I have. And I have some awesome deals, so go check that out. But, you know, definitely donate to them, because I can't imagine if I had a fire in here and I lost everything, I'd probably end up having to get out. I mean, this took me 5+ years and hundreds of thousands of dollars to build, and I don't know how big their collection was, but it's catastrophic to anybody. So, you know, donate to them if you can. Now, this is probably the most basic snake that I picked up here. Enchi Pinstripe Pied. Now, the reason I picked this girl up is because she was only listed at $250. And as you can see, she's probably in the 600-700 gram range. The reason I got this is because I literally have no pinstripe in my pieds until today. And I had a male last year, but I sold them off because I didn't need them. So I went heavy on pinstripe in this purchase, because if you don't know, pinstripe and enchi typically bring in a lot of the pattern back into pieds, whereas fire reduces the pattern in pieds and makes it high white. Pinstripe and enchi can bring a lot of pattern back into them. And I do work with pied a lot, and whether it's lightning pied, clown pied, DG pied, lightning clown pied, whatever, I want to make sure that I'm trying to introduce some of these genes that pull more pattern back into the snakes. And in this case, I also like how pinstripe looks, kind of better than I like how enchi looks, just as a gene by itself in pied. So enchi pinstripe pied girl should be breeding sometime later, you know, in the summer, but that's okay. That's kind of what I got here. This is actually the first time that I've ever done an Instagram Live. So we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll do more. I have no idea. Let's kind of a new thing to me. I thought of it on the way home from FedEx, thinking, you know what? It's a last day of the shipping season. I got some cool stuff in here. You know, maybe somebody wants to see what's going on and get excited like I am. You know, talk about the Flynn Reptiles thing and talk about the end of the season shipping. So, see how it goes. Maybe we'll do more of them. This was the female that I'm really excited about. And I'm kind of bummed because I was doing two things before I made this purchase from Chimera. I was trying to sell off some of my stuff, some of the females that I was trying to get rid of to clear up space and get funding. But I use my PayPal credit account sometimes for bigger purchases. And I was waiting for the billing cycle to go through so that I could kind of like put off having to pay this purchase off until next month. Once that happened, 2 of the clown pied females that I wanted had already sold, which kind of bummed me out. Luckily, I was still able to grab 2 more in this group here. This one I love. I was very excited that I was actually able to grab this one. So this is a Pinstripe clown pied 100% het Hypo, and as you can see, she has good size on her. She's, I think, around 700 grams at this point. So this is a very exciting pickup for me. Again, just like that golden color with kind of no pattern in the saddles, just a blank saddle is what I'm looking for. It's kind of the look that I'm going for in my clown pieds and my lightning pieds. And being het Hypo is just kind of a really awesome thing as well. So, and she's got some black eyes. You're probably not gonna be able to see that. Here's my YouTube camera, and there's my Instagram camera. But yeah, she's gorgeous. She has a decent size to her. I have no doubt that I could get her up to size pretty quick. I bought the 4 DG clowns from Chimera back in May-ish, and they were all around 400 grams or so. Some of them were at 500. 3 of them are basically breeding size already. One of them has been kind of on and off eating, but she's still around 1,000 grams. So I'm expecting that this whole bunch of animals here, at least most of them, should be ready to breed by late spring, hopefully spring sometime. So she's one of 2 double visual clown pieds in this pickup here. There is another one that is clown pied, but she doesn't have anything else in here. I think maybe she's pastel. But she was, you know, I didn't have a lot of visual clown pieds going into this year. I have one that's ready to breed now. I had 2 females that were pied het clown and clown het pied. So I wanted to make sure I had some more double visuals. And this is one of those snakes where I'm going to breed it one year and then probably sell it. But it's useful for me because I haven't actually physically produced double visual ultra pieds yet. My male that I got from Aussie that ended up being OD Leopard Firefly Yellow Belly Ultra Male het pied, I bred him to a ton of pied females this year and a couple females, or 1 female that made me ultra males. So I have like, this is like my hold back rack for the most part. And I have 5, 10, 15, 20. I have 20 snakes here that haven't been moved out of these tubs already. And I think maybe half of them are from that male. So I have a ton of females that are pied het ultra male that have a bunch of genes in them. But I bought 2 of these from Chimera, and they are Enchi double het ultra pied. So they're pretty good size. They're both around 700 grams or so. And they will be my first shot at really making double visual ultra pieds with that male. So they're important just because, I mean, I didn't want to spend too much money on getting anything that can actually make me ultra pieds because I have so many holdbacks. But with the price that these were at, and I think he had them listed at 400 a piece, but I didn't pay that by the time I bought this whole bundle. I just figured it was a good pickup. It'll get me into the ultra pied, making ultra pieds a little sooner. All right, this one, I believe, if I remember, I'm trying to remember. I think this is the pied het Desert Ghost. So she is just a pied plain. I think she was actually the biggest female in this pickup. I think she's probably 800 grams or so. Pied het DG. I actually don't have any males that can make me pied het DGs this year. But what I would probably end up breeding her to is my a double het DG Clown male that I got from Justin this year. He's double het DG Clown. He's Confusion, Leopard, Pinstripe, Orange Dream, Yellow Belly, possibly Fire. I think that's all the genes he has. It's like 5, maybe 6 codoms. So I'd probably breed her to that because everything would be het pied. You know, everything would be pos het clown, which I can test for, and roughly half the babies should come out desert ghosts. So, you know, it's getting me into the DG pied clown project, and she's a decent size. By the time she's ready to go, he'll probably be ready to go. So this will be probably a girl for him. She's not crazy looking in and of herself, but the fact that she's het desert ghost and she tested positive het DG-A, I believe, she's going to be powerful for the breeding projects. This is the other female that's very similar to that Pinstripe clown pied, but she's kind of the opposite in terms of visual recessives. She's a Pinstripe Hypo double het clown pied. So she's obviously not, I don't need to worry about breeding her yet because she's not that size. But, you know, maybe a double visual clown pied I'd breed her to, or something similar. But again, it gets you into that triple recessive projects, the Hypo clown pied. At the very least, I breed her to a visual clown pied. Maybe I make some, I have my Super Orange Dream Yellow Belly Fire clown pied male. He'd probably be a good mix for her because it gives me better odds at hitting clown pieds. I can introduce the Pinstripe into the clown pied project with him, but he's also Super OD, Yellow Belly, and Fire. So if I were to hit an OD Pinstripe Yellow Belly Fire clown pied that's het hypo, hopefully introducing the Pinstripe in there brings back a little more of that pattern that the Fire can tend to take away a little bit because it's really his head and like one saddle on his back that you can see. So she's neat. She's kind of like the inverse of what that visual clown pied is. But she's a cool snake. She's really pretty, and you know, hopefully by late next year she's ready to go for me. Now, if you haven't joined my Patreon, or you're not a member, or if you haven't bought anything this month where I was giving away the memberships, I will at some point make a post telling you guys what I actually paid for all these animals. And I discuss that a lot in my Patreon, where I go about saying, you know, look, I bought this animal and this is what I paid for it, and this is how you go about, you know, getting prices like that on things. And I also tell people what I sold things for as well. So, you know, if you haven't looked at my Patreon, give it a look. If you haven't purchased anything yet from this sale, I would absolutely do it because I have like 2 adult females left, and they're each coming with 2 males. I think one of them is ready to breed and one's a proven breeder. I have, I think, 3 pairs of Super OD pied projects, males and females together, that are all $9.99. Plus I have like Lightning Clown pied project, which is insane because nobody else is selling that stuff. So take a look. Today's the last day that we're guaranteed to ship. So, I mean, if you want anything before Christmas, this is really the last day that anybody can guarantee they're going to get it to you. This is the other double visual clown pied girl I got. She's just a clown pied, and I think 100% het albino, which I will absolutely never ever breed for. In my opinion, albino is the last thing that you should ever be breeding for at this point, or trying to do on purpose. I actually love how plain clown pieds look. I actually think they're better looking than a lot of the ones that have other codoms introduced into them. They're just striking. They maintain colors pretty well. The patterning, the head stamp, the faces, all look just awesome. Compared to sometimes what they look like when you introduce a gene or 2 into them. So again, she's just useful for me as a clown pied. She'll be a third. I have one that's ready to go now. The Pinstripe one I picked up in this one. So it's only my 3rd double visual clown pied because I invested in other projects more heavily. But I'll have tons of clown pied stuff coming out this season. Really glad to pick her up. I think the 2 clown pieds that I missed out on were Super Pastel Clown Pied, which I wasn't too upset about. The one I was upset about, I think it was a Pastel Enchi Clown Pied Het Hypo. That's the other one I really wanted because it would have matched up again with the whole idea of working Pinstripe and Enchi into my pied projects. So that sucked. When that one sold, I was like, ugh. I mean, some of these snakes have been listed for like 6 months or more, and they were all like 2022 births or hatch dates. So they were sitting there forever, and the fact that like 2 of them literally sold like the week right before I was ready to buy them really kind of pissed me off. I was kind of upset by that. So that that's for crappy timing, but I was still luckily able to pick these guys up. So I mean, it wasn't the end of the world. Still made out pretty well. This one is a Hypo pied. I believe it's pastel as well. So I don't know if you guys had seen. Let's see if I can reach it easily here. What I had produced earlier in the year. Let's see if I can get to it. It's right in here. He's ready to come out. So I got a male from Justin last year. He's a black-head leopard Mojave, triple het black axanthic Hypo pied. I bred him to a Hypo pied this year, and I got 2 of these awesome males that came out. They just have like lavender gray heads. Black-head leopard Mojave Hypo pieds that are 50% het black axanthic. So, until I can test for black axanthic, they're staying here. Even so, I'm still going to breed them next year when they're ready. So, I mean, they're awesome. Like, literally, probably my favorite animal, maybe, at this point, that I produced this season. So, now that I have produced animals like this and seen what Hypo and Pied can do, I realized that I need more Hypo Pied females because I only have the 1 female that I bred this year. So, Chimera had a bunch of Hypo Pied females listed for a relatively inexpensive price. I didn't buy a lot of them. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 left from when I bought these because they're all just plain Hypo pieds other than the other ones I bought. So pastel Hypo pied, I think around the 500 gram range. That'll work into that project. Anytime you can get double visual recessives that are useful, not albino G-stripe, but Hypo pied, clown pied, get them because they're going to be useful no matter what. If you have 1 male like that, that's black-head leopard Mojave Hypo pied, and you breed him to Hypo pieds, you're making awesome snakes because they're all Hypo pied, and you have the chances of hitting the black-head leopard Mojave better than if you're just breeding hets or single recessives. So, I mean, I think he had these listed for $600 a piece. And of course, again, I bought a big group of animals, but these Hypo pies were 400 or 500 grams, $600 a piece. It's kind of a no-brainer. This is something I've been looking for a while. It's a little smaller than I was hoping, but again, at the price, I kind of just had to get it. This also works with that black-head leopard Mojave Hypo pied project. This is a GHI Mojave pied, not Hypo, but I love the way GHI Mojave pieds look. If you don't know, GHI and Mojave just work very well together and everything, but I love it in pieds. So if I can work it into that project and get black-head leopard GHI Mojaves into the pieds and into the Hypo pied project, I can't imagine what that's going to look like. And I'm very excited to try to make them. So, I mean, she's very small, I would think, for being a 2022. She's around 200 grams. I normally wouldn't get something like this, but the price was probably almost kind of a throw-in. And I needed GHI somewhere in my pieds. So it's funny, GHI Mojave, everybody knows what the GHI Mojave looks like without any recessives. It works well in clown, obviously works well in pied, but it's still one of those projects that people aren't just like all in on, which is crazy. So we got some comments here. Hey, Crystal. Crystal was like one of my first customers back in the day, and she actually came back and joined Patreon and took advantage of my sale this year. How you doing? Let's see. Got some hearts from Camille Victoria. How are ya? Dark Fired Morphs looking good. You talking to me or are you talking about the snakes? Zenith Morphs. Hey, yeah, she's a looker. So I'm thinking you were talking about the GHI Mojave pied. This is the other Enchi double het ultramel pied. Again, trying to work the Enchi into that because The sire he's Firefly, Fire. It has produced a lot. I've been getting bad odds with high white, and it's not even all the ones that have fire in it. I'm hoping that introducing Enchi into that, half this clutch should be Enchi, brings back some of the pattern in the Ultra Pieds, because I got hosed with the ones that I produced. I love the way Pinstripe looks in Pied. It looks really cool. And that Clown Pied that I had looks absolutely killer as well. So that's what a Pinstripe Hypo Pied looks like. And again, being able to work Blackhead Leopard Mojave Pinstripe Hypo Pieds, hopefully it brings more pattern back in than what you saw in that male. If it does, it's going to look awesome. That's probably what she'll breed to, because again, they'll probably be the same size around the same time. So something I preach about all the time in Patreon is you need to be building things in projects. You shouldn't just be buying 10 snakes here and 10 snakes there, or 5 snakes, whatever. You need to build in projects. So now that I produce these awesome Hypo Pied males, I'm looking at kind of furthering that project along. So I picked up some Hypo Pied females. You shouldn't have 5 males and 5 females. You should be building your projects in 1 male to 3 or 4 females at the very least. If you have a bunch of extra males sitting around, you're just wasting rack space. So those are all the things I talk about in my Patreon. Lots of big tips. Let's see. Zenith Morse. The quality of live is great. Is it a camera or a phone? It's actually my phone. I have a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, so it's actually just straight through my phone, straight through Instagram Live. So this is the stuff I talk about all the time. I know a lot of people that are going to be kind of looking at me are going to be like a first year, second year, third year type of person. I actually have some people that have been around for 4 or 5 years and kind of just spinning their tires, not knowing where they're going with their collections. And I'm kind of here to try to help people get through that. And I kind of consider Patreon as kind of being a mentorship. The way that I'm working this current sale is that if you buy one of the snakes that I've listed, you get the snake or snakes for $9.99. You get my $100 Patreon tier for just $1 per month for the whole year of 2024. And you also get a raffle entry to win the Banana Urban Camo male that also comes with a Super Pastel, Black Pastel female. They can make urban camos. She's laid 13 eggs, she's proven, and that was like 2 years ago, so she's ready to go. As soon as he's ready to go, she's ready to go. So I'm giving people a ton of value, trying to get them into my Patreon, trying to build a group of people that are want to learn, that want to grow their business and do it the right way.